Welcome back to episode 49 of the DrunkFriend podcast. As always, we're your host. I'm Travis Nessfriend. That's Alex Nessdrunk. We're here to talk about video games mostly, except for today. We're going to talk a lot more about music, but that's later. First, Alex, you went dark. There's not been a... let me hit refresh again. Maybe YouTube just isn't working. Nope, there's no Nessdrunk video here. What the hell?
Nah, fuck everyone.
What?
No, I'm just... sometimes I just gotta, I really think it's healthy to just back off and just, at the risk of sounding self-important, but it's just, it feels good to just back off and just play games just for fun instead of for punishment, instead of crap like Ultimate Stuntman or Ultimate Stuntman, like he's a running back for Oklahoma University.
Right. I think we made that joke last week. Very good.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But hey, you thought to yourself, he's like, I have to break free, like Queen once said.
And no, not like that. Queen at all.
No, wasn't a very Queen holiday for you. I mean, I think that's a good idea to take some time.
I like how quickly you backed off from that. You didn't double down. You were just like, no, not like Queen at all. Well, anyway.
Well, I was, there is a bit of a segue built in there because I started my video on Breakthrough.
I'm sorry. I ruined your segue.
No, you didn't at all, actually. It's
okay.
It's
well, I ruined
fine.
it just then.
There you did. But no, I started my Breakthrough video because I've been having some fun. I've been having some fun with the old Ness friends there. I started it with a bit of a, what is this? Breakthrough, like the Queen song? And it's Break Free. It's a joke that I got.
God damn it. I ruined it. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. But it's not good. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I think it's good to take a break. I think that's good because you impress me. You really impress me because, truth be told, you and I we talk a lot. There's a lot of backstage talk. Me and the old Nessdrunk are all the time making plans, and I'm like, does this guy ever fucking sleep? Because if you're not, here's a day with Alex, as far as I know, and I know you're a hard worker. You got a job, and it demands a lot of you. But my day interacting with Alex, I get several links to YouTube videos of the most obscure shit I could ever imagine. I'm like, how does he even find this shit? There's like old baseball plays from 1993, just old bloopers. There's people singing in drive-thrus for no reason. There's just random shit. I'm like, how does he even find this shit? And then he'll be like, yeah, I just wrapped up a script for this game that I played for whatever. Like you got a video made. Didn't even know when you did that.
My head doesn't stop. My brain dictates what my hands type and what my eyes see and what my mouth says. So my brain is kind of an asshole. A lot of the time where I need to do a lot of things to keep my brain happy so I don't piss it off.
Sure.
I feel like a slave a lot of the times, to be honest with you, because there's a shitload of stuff I got to do to keep everything in my body happy, like my hands, my eyes, and my mouth. It's honestly a chore. It's really tough.
Are you just explaining a brain to me right now? I feel like
okay. Well, that's how a brain works, Trav. And it's a thing that needs to be maintained. It should be obvious to even most dim-witted individual that a brain should be very clearly, you gotta keep it, giving it water. You can't be giving it. I don't even know what to say because I'm so frazzled by your question. I can't even believe that you would even dare to ask this question,
man. Poor your brain.
I hope that answers your question.
Didn't answer anything, but I just say, I'm happy you're taking a break.
You can understand why you need a break though from that.
Sure, yeah. Like I'm all the time like, how the hell does this guy ever sleep? You're usually the last person I talk to and the first person I talk to every day.
No
like,
way, really?
Usually. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? And you're 2 hours away, or two time zones over. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's awful. And I can see how that would be true because I'm up at like 5 a.m. at this mountain time. And
exactly. Yeah, you're like a farmer out in the desert. I don't understand your life. But
yeah, no, I get that because I don't sleep a lot. I don't really need a lot of sleep. Or at least I haven't needed a lot of sleep. Hopefully that won't be a concern later in my life, but yeah, I don't really need, so I'm just, here's my sleep. Yeah, I feel like sleep is like a presentation you give in high school where it's like, here's my sleep, what do you think? And my brain's like, okay, that's fine. And then I'm like, all right, cool, I can go on with my life now. Whereas if I present my brain with 4 hours of sleep, it's like, no, you got to go back to bed. You need to sleep more.
Right.
It's like, all right, I'll go do that then. And
I've not been sleeping well myself, and I woke up yesterday and I had a pulled muscle in my back from rolling over too hard. That's fun.
What?
I couldn't breathe in. I couldn't take a deep breath all day because there's like a muscle that I pulled turning over at night. So number one, I'm old, and two, I threw my back out just in bed. So,
I think that needs to be restated. I think you're old, number 3.
Sure.
That's pretty. You're pretty old if you're. That's like a Sammy Sosa level thing that happened to you. Like you're pulling muscles. Sammy Sosa famously pulled a muscle sneezing.
Right.
So you're pulling muscles tossing and turning in bed. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're officially a Major League Baseball player. Congratulations, Trav.
Actually, that was a very good silver lining. I am very strong, and I'm a Major League Baseball player after doing such a thing. But yeah, let's move it along. I got Breakthrough out there on the NES. Data East arcade port, pretty fun.
Data East is awesome. I love Data East. They're one of my favorite developers ever. So
yeah, and it's a early NES port. It's a simple game. It has a lot of the accoutrement of an arcade game of the time. Not a whole lot of flash and bedazzle. You're going to be putting 10, 12 minutes in that sumbitch, and you're going to have a good time with it.
I liked it. I liked what I saw of the footage that you showed. I thought it was a game that I would like when, if I were like 8, 10 years old, I would have really dug that game, and I would have told my friends about it at school and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate the yeoman's work you've been doing with.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
That's
a top-notch rental right there. That's the kind of game you have a fun weekend with it, just popping around.
Yeah, I liked it. It's you're in a boat a lot.
No, you're not in a. Well, you're on a. Man, I don't think there's any boats.
Wait. You're in a car a lot.
Yeah, you're in a car. Yeah.
You're not in a boat ever?
No, not one. I don't think there's a boat in the whole game. If I'm being quite honest.
Oh, come on. You're in a boat at least some of the time, aren't you?
Never a boat. Did you watch a video?
No, I watched you, but I thought it was a boat, that you were in at least some of the levels that switched. But you're in a car the whole time?
All the time. Buggy, little buggy. Yeah.
All right, well. Anyway. Awkward pause. Transition.
Hey, hold up. Well, actually, it's a buggy the whole time. And that's a good transition because we got an email here from our friend Ahmad who says, "Hey guys, I love the podcast, love your channels, and I try to keep up with all 3 as much as possible. Alex, your nerd voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me, and I hate it. But I also think it's funny that you can have fun with your detractors. The fact that people were so upset about you using it in a video is hilarious, so please never stop. Thanks, guys. Ahmad Bakari." And that's the right attitude to have. F the haters, as they say.
Well, actually... Oh, sorry. I was going to wind up into a big
Yeah, you did. Did you throw your back out, too? Maybe that's how I did mine.
God,
I did a sleep well, actually.
Throw my back out. And my... back, all the parts are going to go out. It's not just having fun with detractors. It's having fun with that personality type, basically, I guess.
So fun.
Yeah, it's just everybody knows somebody like that. And not only that, but we all know somebody like that in our lives, and we all have a little piece of that, well, actually, in ourselves. There's all something that we know we can correct somebody on or something like that. There's always something we can just actually something on ourselves. And
people think they own information, and they're very possessive about it. And,
that's you summed it up better than I ever could, Trev. Thank you.
Actually, Trev, I don't agree with that. I believe
of course
that
you wouldn't.
It should be obvious to anybody that's ever talked on any sort of medium that it should be obvious to Ahmad Bakari, actually, that this video is hilarious, so please never stop. I mean, what the heck has he ever seen that thinks gives him the right to... All right, I'm done. Right.
You're welcome, Ahmad.
I've run out of saliva. I'm sorry.
You asked for this, and you got it. But hey, we got another email from Top Spot 123, who's also been a guest here on this very podcast. A wonderful guest, by the way. We should have him
Do I
back
read this
sometime.
one?
I'll do it.
Okay.
He says, "Hello, drunk friends," and that's us, by the way, Alex, me and you. I just listened. Yeah, that's us. We're drunk friends. He says, "I just listened to your interview with Forgotten VCR with a high degree of interest."
I love that guy.
Which one, Top Spot or Forgotten VCR?
Oh, both. Now that you mention it.
All right, good. Analog VHS is the aesthetic of my youth, and I find media remixing to be an extremely enjoyable type of meta entertainment.
Oh, I love that guy.
Which
Oh,
one?
both,
Meta
now
or-
that you mention it.
Now that you mention, but Top, you might like today's guest if you like remixing things, because that's kind of the theme. Maybe not the same thing you're talking about here, but kind of. I can't wait to check out his streams. Thank you both for featuring creators in so many diverse fields. Growing up, I worshipped entertainment media and pop culture, but I was taught a healthy amount of skepticism and irreverence by the satire of Mad Magazine and the parodies of Weird Al Yankovic and the Zuckers Abrahams movies, Airplane and Top Secret. These early pastiches helped me understand that I shouldn't take popular media too seriously, and that you can make fun of something while still loving it. Well, actually, kind of like that.
Exactly, yes.
I know Trav is a Weird Al fan, even singing a Weird Al song while waiting for Alex in a recent episode. That was the one where you came back to talk about alcohol. Yeah, it was a good time.
Of course.
And Alex's love of...
Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, I was
3000.
I was figuring out a way to say MSTK3K or whatever, but Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It's one letter at a time, Trav. It's MST3K.
I should have. I got
the
excited.
letters and then a number and then another
letter there at the end. There isn't it? Okay,
that's how it works. All right.
It's not Master Combat 3, whatever. It's not. But your love of that, Alex, is well documented.
Uh-huh.
Even mentioning riff tracks and the lesser known The Film Crew. So you're in deep on the MST3K.
Uh-huh.
I'd like you guys to talk about any other favorite media that either doesn't take itself too seriously or that pokes holes in the self-seriousness of others.
Okay.
Are there any parody movies you love or early Adult Swim shows you remember fondly? Doesn't have to be comedic. For instance, I really love well-done mashup music. Hey, we got that coming later. When popular songs get re-recorded in a different genre. Once again, that's that guest today, top spot. If you're a Metallica fan, you're gonna really love it.
Yeah.
Let's pause there for a second and talk about, do you have any, does anything come to mind for you, Alex? Are there any parody movies and stuff of the like that you really like?
Yeah, Hot Shots and Part 2.
Love Hot Yes.
Those were amazing when I was a kid.
Yes.
I really loved Hot Shots Part 2. I saw it in the theater with my dad and my brother, and I laughed my ass off. They were incredible.
Yes. I still get turned on every time I see an egg fry. That's what that movie did. That's a scene in the movie for those that are uninitiated.
It's great.
That's a good answer.
And it's why people like Charlie Sheen, really, because he was in that movie. Why he was able to get away with being a dick for decades. It's because he was in Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2, and that movie was. Both those movies were laugh out loud funny. Oh man, yeah. It's one of the. My dad loves comedies, especially Naked Gun style comedies, like parodies of other things. So my dad always brought us to Naked Gun 2.5, 33 1/3, Hot Shots Part 2. We saw all those in the theater, and it was tremendous. It was so much fun to see those with my dad and my brother, and it was the only time I ever heard people laughing out loud, you know, in a theater like that. It was crazy. I remember going with my friend afterward to see, you know, movies just by ourselves. And we went and saw Beavis and Butthead Do America, I remember. My friend Dustin and I. And nobody was laughing.
What?
Like, me and him were the only ones laughing in the theater, and we were cracking up like crazy. Like, that movie is hilarious, especially like the whacking in my trailer stuff with
when
Mr.
they meet their
Anderson.
dads.
Yeah,
So many good parts.
that stuff that will never not be funny. Like, there's no universe I want to live in where that's not funny, and that's it's just, you know, I was looking around like, what the heck where am I? What planet am I on? Like, why is nobody laughing? And I realized I was the weird one for laughing out loud in the theater. And I remember seeing stuff like Adaptation, Charlie Kaufman written movie with Nicolas Cage as the lead for both the twins. And it was a great movie, but there are some seriously funny parts that are just hilariously stupid. And where, you know, Nicolas Cage is just being Nicolas Cage, and he's just, like, lashing out at stuff. It's right at the beginning. And me and my friend Gretchen at the time, we're just laughing. We're just, like, cackling like assholes in the theater. And then we look around, and there's just, like, nobody else laughing. We're just like, oh, it's your loss. I don't care.
That's always the worst.
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling. But at the time, you know, it's just like, fine. I don't care. Like, you get over it pretty quickly, but yeah, it's just, yeah, it's.
I've not seen Adaptation. I need to watch it.
Adaptation's really, it's really good. It's Charlie Kaufman. He's such a good writer. He's come up with some really bizarre shit, and that's probably
Being John Malkovich is one of my favorite movies. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's my favorite of his by far. Adaptation's up there with Being John Malkovich, I would say.
For sure.
What is it called? Cinedoc New York or something like that with Philip Seymour Hoffman. That one is fucked up beyond belief.
Not seen that.
Anyway, that's another one that's
right on.
But
for me, I'm gonna stay in the movie realm too. I love the mockumentary area. I love that. I love improv when they can make improv into something that's. Improv is not meant to be forever. It's supposed to make an in-house crowd laugh once, and then you move on to the next thing. Then you got people like Christopher Guest, Michael McKean out there, sort of, I don't know, kind of usurping the improv scene of what it was at the time, and making really good movies out of improv, like Spinal Tap, which is phenomenal. And it's funnier if you go, because a lot of people are like, I don't really get Spinal Tap. I don't get it. Like, I watched it, I didn't really get it. This guy's a real band. Like, that's the impressive thing about it, is because I don't think a lot of people know that most of those scenes are just one-time take, you know, improv out of your ass commentary, and it sticks. That's why it's so funny. So that, like, Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman, anything Fred Willard's in, I love that kind of parody. And mockumentaries are like, I know, that's like the Weird Al of TV, you know? So, yeah, I really like that kind of stuff, especially when I'm impressed by their improv skills.
Everybody should see Spinal Tap. That should be required viewing for everybody. It's one of the all-time best movies ever made. It's so freaking funny. My face hurts from laughing at that movie.
And the music is actually good. Like, they're actually talented musicians, yeah.
Stonehenge, where the demons dwell, or whatever.
And you get Harry Shearer in there randomly, which is great.
Yeah.
He's the bassist.
Oh, and you get the metal detector scene with Harry Shearer. You get the 11. This amp goes to 11. You get that scene. You get God. It doesn't end with Spinal Tap.
And you get Fred Willard again. That guy.
And you get Fred Willard. Yeah, you get Fred Willard way before he was Fred Willard.
He's so underrated. In my opinion, I've gotten older, he's been funnier and funnier.
He was in a season 12 episode of King of the Hill that we just watched, Fred Willard appeared as Fred Willard, basically. Like he looked like himself, and I think they did that as a tribute to him, because
That's awesome.
He's so funny because,
dude, in Best in Show, when he's just riffing on those dogs, that is the best thing ever.
Yeah, him and Jason Bateman. That's a bold strategy.
I don't think it was. That was Dodgeball. Was he in? Wait, was he in Dodgeball?
Was that Dodgeball?
Oh, wait.
I thought that was.
Well, Jason Bateman was in Dodgeball, but
okay. I thought that was from frickin' what do you call it?
In Best in Show, that's another British actor who's playing the dog. Expert.
That's Gary Cole. That's who that is. Okay, never mind. That's my bad. That's Gary Cole. That's
in Dodgeball. Yeah.
That the dude that played
TPS report guy.
What's his name? Yeah, the Office Space guy. What the fuck is his name? Lumberg. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah,
I mean, similar scenes. Fred is improvising his though, which is just great. Just great. Okay, well, let's move on. We got more of this email. Holy shit. He says, besides those that I already mentioned, I can remember a few others that I enjoyed growing up. There was a Canadian show that used to air on Nickelodeon called Turkey Television. One of the recurring segments that I most remember was when they took old Flash Gordon film serials and edited and redubbed them for comic effect. Another show that aired around the same time that did a similar thing was Mad Movies with the LA Connection, where the whole premise was recutting and dubbing an old movie to make it a half-hour comedy. And much later, I fell in love with an utterly stupid movie, Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. That's classic. It's become a cult classic with my friends and family and truly gets funnier the more we watch it. Anyhow, thanks for all that you do. Keep up the great work. Top! Thanks for the email, Top. I love talking about stuff like that. If I could talk about improv in movies, even though I'm not a trained actor or a good improvisationalist, I could do it all day. Just fascinated with those people that can do that.
Well, we watch enough of it where, like, Space Ghost is the ultimate example of recontextualizing, that kind of stuff and making it something completely different. With Space Ghost and Zorak and Moltar and all those folks turning it into a talk show and all that kind of crap. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant idea from the ground up. And the fact that it worked as well as it did for as many years as it did is amazing. And I love it that much more for it. So that's really the go-to example for me personally. Do you have one? Any at all?
Of
just like anything that's been recontextualized.
Recontextualized.
Like recycled, like old stuff that's been remade in some way.
I'm going to go the music route, and as you know, again, we have our guest today who does a fair bit of this, but a YouTube channel that I came across and really, really enjoy is Bill McClintock, and he does a lot of mashups of.
How do I know that name?
Music. It's a pretty popular YouTube channel. And I'm not sure if it's his or not, but there's one that they do a mashup of Rats Round and Round with Heard It Through the Grapevine. And
that's how I know it. I know I've heard this guy before.
Yeah,
I've seen his channel before.
Yeah, it was
he's
Bill
done
McClintock.
he's done Megadeth with Michael Jackson and that kind of stuff.
That shit rules to me.
Oh, that's what I heard. The most recent one I heard was Huey Lewis in the News with James Hetfield. He did Hip to Be Sandman, which is Hip to Be Square with James Hetfield singing Sandman. And sometimes some of these things are just as simple as photoshopping James Hetfield onto Huey Lewis's face. It really is. Sometimes it's just that quick. You just put James Hetfield on there and you put James Hetfield in the news, sports, and you just press play. That's all it is. And it works. I loved it.
Yeah. I recommend Heard It Round and Round the Grapevine. Very good. So yeah, that would be my example of a recontextualization. All right. We have one more email here. This is from Brendan. And Brendan, I did some research for you for this email, so let's get to it. Hello, Drunk Friend, which is actually the proper way to greet us because it's the Drunk Friend podcast.
I guess it would be.
Yeah,
that's our name. Yeah.
Yep. Credit to Brendan there. He says Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you and yours, Brendan. We hope it was
Merry
good.
Christmas, Brendan.
I was supposed to go to a festival of grunge cover artists last Friday night, but unfortunately fell asleep on the couch when I got home from work. Major bummer. I had taurined myself up and everything, and I don't know what that means. Is he doing drugs, Alex? What is a
Probably.
What does that mean?
Brendan, don't do drugs.
I think it's fish oil. Isn't that taurine? I don't know. It's protein.
I think it's bull urine.
It's bull urine. You're based Taurus. I see what you're doing there, and I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Taurin, you're Taurus urine.
Taurus urine.
Sorry, Brendan. I hope you didn't.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't drink bull urine. It got me thinking, though.
Hey, wait a second.
What?
You read all the emails, and you didn't give me a chance to read the email.
I paused for 3 seconds, and there's silence.
Oh, okay, all right. So
I was like,
you
I'm
gave
doing
that's your excuse. You gave me an in, and I didn't take it.
chance.
Well,
I'm
it
here
got
to
me
fill the
thinking, though, in relation to your previous conversations about grunge. What do you guys think about some of the greats' later albums or comebacks? I thought Alice in Chains 2013, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, was a great album. I saw them live around this time, and even without Lane Staley, put on a great show. It appears they've since released an even newer album in 2018, although I didn't even realize that existed until I started writing this email. Well, that was a roller coaster for you, Brendan. I'm sorry. Additionally, Soundgarden's 2012 King Animal is well worth a listen. It's a shame we'll get no more. I will stop here and say that King Animal is one of my all-time favorite albums, of anything ever. It's so good. It's become one of a big-time sentimental album for me, because it was what I was listening to when I adopted my dog, when I first moved into my condo and lived on my own. First owned my own thing, basically, and it was really just kind of a special time for me. So I love King Animal.
Cool.
Looking forward to your he goes on to say, oh, I'm sorry, do you have King Animal thoughts, Trav?
No, not specifically. I do enjoy it, though, and I remember buying it when it came out because I was so excited. Soundgarden's back. Woo!
Did you did you think it was up to the snuff? Did you like it?
I loved a few tracks on it. I don't know. It's hard to beat some of those classics.
So if you're hesitant, you don't like it.
It's hard to top those classics. I like Been Away Too Long, though. That's a really good song.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's good.
I agree.
I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I think it's a fine album.
It's okay.
I have nothing bad to say about it.
Wait a second. This is Brendan from Retro Game On.
Okay.
This is our friend. Looking forward to your thoughts. Keep up the good work, and don't forget to drink some water before you go to sleep.
Yeah, Alex.
That's really good advice.
It really is.
That's really good advice, Brendan. Thank you. And Retro Game On is a channel I've been watching for years and years. Anybody listening, please go watch his channel. He's been so informative about. He's a fellow from Australia, and he's such a good kid. And I can call him a kid because I know he's younger than me because he talks about school and stuff. But
Andy has a fucking mustache from. Yeah,
this dude is. He's one of my favorite people. I love his whole thing. He does racing games primarily because that's what he likes. He does what he likes to do, and I love that. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he's
Brendan.
one of my favorite channels. And it has been for years.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, and it's great to get an email from a guy that's number one has a cool channel like
Thanks
that.
For
also
email us again, Brendan.
I'm gonna say top mustache on YouTube. I'm gonna be
bold.
Oh yeah,
I think it's long gone now. I think he's clean cut, and I think he's got a haircut now. But
sorry, I haven't kept up as lately. But
it's okay.
Well, I missed the mustache. Brendan. I was going to answer this email by saying, I don't know of any other. I think he listed all of the highlights for me personally. So he listed the Devil's. The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. He listed the 2018 Alice in Chains, which I thought was okay. He got King Animal in here. Those are the ones that I kept track of. So I went to my guy. I have a guy. This is Pawn Stars, by the way. We have a guy. You know, if you bring in a toaster, we got a toaster guy. We'll go talk to him, see what this is worth. So I went to my music guy because I got a guy, Jake, who was the former co-host with me over on Polykill for years. And I would qualify him as a music expert in some circles. He wrote for some magazines. He did some publications. He's done some interviews with some metal bands and stuff like that. He knows his stuff. I'm just trying to say he's got cred, okay? I was like, hey, man, do you know of any bands that if someone were looking for some what you might call latent grunge, they might enjoy? So maybe some new stuff. Maybe it's not old Soundgarden, or maybe it's not new Soundgarden or new Alice in Chains or new whatever, but maybe it's somebody that embodies the sound. Here are some bands for you. We got Red Fang, which is a band I do enjoy. Loathe. Just Loathe.
That's an early 90s band.
Yeah. Sure, but they're still around. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean like they sound like they'd be an early 90s band.
Oh,
Loathe.
yeah. I mean, well,
Loathe.
Name like Loathe, yeah.
Just can't. I can't muster the energy to be around, so we're just loathe.
Just so loathe. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Sorry. I ruined your vibe. I'm sorry.
Their Inside the Music interview took forever because it was just constant vocal fry. Yeah.
It's like every Sonic Youth interview ever. With
that's a good point.
More.
Those
and
guys really.
Like, I just can't get over the questions you're asking. They're so. Anyway, sorry.
Those guys were never excited.
I'm just being
to
a
talk.
dick. I'm sorry.
You are. 68 is another band. Just like you were typing out the year 68, you put that little apostrophe up there. Boom, 68.
Really?
Helms Ali? You know that one? You going to make fun of that?
Are you asking me?
I did phrase it as a question, did I not? Helms Ali? It's Helms like Helms Deep, and then A-L-E-E.
Like Hunter Hearst Helmsley King.
That's actually a good way to remember it. Say Hearst Helmsley, but fuck it up real good. Sandrider. Now that's easy to look up. Sandrider. Torch, but with an E. Okay? Like torche. Like somebody says something, and you're like, hey, touche? But don't
French?
say it correctly. Say torche? Young Widows. Huh?
Oh, he's got Big Business on here. I've seen them live. They opened for Melvin's way back in the day. They're legit. They're awesome. Yeah. They're Big Business is the next band. I cut you off.
That's a good piece of big business, they say.
There you go.
And Old Man Gloom, which is a little more noisy, I admit, but it's gloomy, and that's grunge. It's glunge. But yeah, there you go. There are your recommendations, everyone. So thank you, Jake, for piping in and giving some of these grunge lovers something to loathe.
I see what you did there.
I'm trying to be poetic.
I'm watching your cursor on the sheet here.
Oh, good. Okay.
So then
that's
you
been
know
emails.
You know what's next then.
I do. Yeah. You think you know metal music? You think you know Metallica? I bet our guest today has you beat. State of Mercury will be joining us in a second. His YouTube channel is kind of unique, especially compared to what we normally feature here. He reworks Metallica's music by taking a song from one album, making it sound like it was recorded on a different album. It's crazy.
It works with Metallica. It doesn't sound like it would work with other bands, but it works with Metallica because each of their albums sound completely different from one another. Like Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, Black Album, they all sound completely different. Even Load. This guy even does Load. For God's sake, listen to this guy. He's an amazing channel. He deserves it. Do it!
Do it.
Do it now! Get down! There's a bomb! Get down now!
Oh, God. Oh, God, there's
Get
a
to
bomb.
the chopper now! There's a bomb! No! Get down!
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sorry, I went full Arnold there. I didn't expect to go full Arnold. I went full Arnold. You never go full Arnold.
Now we got to have him on.
Oh, shit. We had Stallone on, didn't we? Now
Yeah.
we got to have Arnold. Damn.
Hi, this is Michelle from PD's Power Hour, a podcast where you can find cool gaming content creators and or gaming enthusiasts to discuss all things alcohol. Check it out if you're interested in learning more about what's in your glass and the process that got it there. Available everywhere podcasts are heard and on polymedianetwork.com. Drink well, my friends. Bye.
All right, State of Mercury or Calvin, thanks for joining the Drunk Friend podcast. How you doing tonight?
Great, man. I just, happy to be here. Happy to have some human interaction because, I'm in Canada, so the COVID is running wild. and I have not seen human beings in months, so it's good.
Jeez, you're just up there in your shack, blaring Metallica, scaring all the moose.
Yeah, drinking maple syrup, all that, you know.
Wow, I love it.
Drinking Molson Ice.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
So, your channel is, for anyone that doesn't know, it's you amazingly are able to replicate some Metallica album sounds, and this is like the niche of niche things, which is why you're on this podcast, because we love niche of niche. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's amazing what you're able to do. You're able to replicate Master of Puppets sound, Ride the Lightning sound, Kill 'Em All sound, and particularly and Justice for All album sound, which is unbelievable. Is anyone associated with Metallica aware of what you're doing, and has anyone contacted you?
Actually, no. Not that I'm aware of. I've heard that like Kirk is pretty plugged in. So I did a podcast like last year, but the guy never posted it. It was for what was his podcast called? Speak and Destroy. He does like a Metallica related podcast, I guess. And he told me that he was like, it's likely, because I guess he's inside he worked for Much Music, I guess, before, or like MTV. Yeah. So he was like, it's pretty likely that somebody's probably heard it, but yeah, no one's reached out at this point anyway.
Well, how has Lars not shut this down yet in an angry rage?
And that's just it, right? Like, you know, they claim all my videos anyways for the most part, but like I'm around every corner, I'm just looking for Lars. I'm like, oh God, when's he coming to get me, you know?
You look in your rearview mirror and he's like, Lars, you see that Lars face like scowling at you.
Yeah.
Just doing unnecessary things with his tongue, like he's always licking some part of his own mouth, and you're like, what's going on with that?
He's like looking around at the sky all weird, sticking out a bit.
By the way, Speak and Destroy is the best name for a Metallica podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah.
If I thought of Speak and Destroy, I would have to make the podcast without nothing else to go on. I'd be like, well, we have to do it. We have the name.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
I would call mine Sad But True.
That's your autobiography.
That's my autobiography. Exactly. Thank you, Trav. That's very sweet. What's your history with Metallica? What's the first album? How did you discover them, and how old were you?
Oh, I was like a baby. My dad was a massive fan, like just always blasting it in his car. And like I remember being a kid and being like annoyed at how loud he was blasting it, but like
I love that.
Yeah, and like my oldest memory is like coming home from a hockey practice with like Battery blasting on the radio, and I was like 5.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he was total metal dad. He liked all the you know, like Skid Row and Metallica and Sabbath and all that. Like he was just super into it. So that's how I got into that stuff. And I think like the first album I probably would have really got into was like the Reload era stuff, because like I was born in 93, right? So it would have been like around the most when I was a kid, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, I need you to rate on a scale of 1 to 10. What scale of hockey hair was your dad's at that point? Was it 1 to 10?
Probably like a 9.
So he's up there.
I love that. So he's like Zap Rousdower.
Yeah.
Does he have the mustache going? Does he have like a beard? Like what? You need to fill in the blanks here.
He had the goatee going. Like when he was younger though, like he was full like into like the glam metal stuff. So there's like pictures of him with like Bon Jovi hair with like zebra jeans on and stuff. Like yeah. He was into it. He was deep, like real deep.
That's awesome.
You hear that, Trav? That sounds like you.
Yeah, I've got the mullet going. I just need a denim jacket and some leather pants. And I'm getting close, guys. I've almost fully transformed.
Sounds
like you need more denim.
Yeah, I do. I do for sure. Have you seen Metallica in concert? Certainly you have.
Yeah, I've seen them twice now. Once at like in Montreal at like, so it was like a festival called Heavy Montreal, and that was like when they were doing the Metallica by Request concerts. So it was like every banger, like from like they opened with like Blackened, then the second song was like Master of Puppets, and then it was Ride the Lightning and Justice for All. Like it was just like pure chaos. Like it was amazing. Awesome. And then I saw them on the Hardwired tour in like 2017, and it was okay. It wasn't as good, but it was pretty banging.
Nice.
So Yeah, that sounds freaking awesome. So
Well, have you guys seen them?
I saw them back they were my first concert back in January. I will never forget the day. It was January 29th, 1997 at the Target Center in Minneapolis. And this was during the Load Tour. And it was and this is back in the day when you had to like wait in line at a freaking grocery store to get tickets.
Wow.
to see a band. Yeah, this is like the Ticketmaster days. It's freaking sucked, but I hated doing that. But the show itself was unbelievable. It was just, they really, at that point, Metallica really knew how to like play to an audience, because that was the tour where they did the big thing where the whole stage blows up.
Oh,
and, like,
right. Yeah.
They had like a guy from like a noose come down or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
like and a guy on fire run across, and I was like, oh my God, like everything
And they
went
pretended
wrong.
that was part of the show. They were like, this is all.
And they
we
were like,
planned all
oh
that.
shit. And then James comes out later and is like, oh, we just had to plug in our old amps. Is that okay? And it's like 10 times louder than what they did.
Yeah, I remember. I think I saw like the Cunning Stunts DVD or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they got the guy running on fire, and like everyone just looks like horrified in the crowd.
Yeah.
That was so much fun, and Jason was amazing. Jason was... Newstead back then was just an animal, and he freaking like went out into the crowd, and yeah, it was just awesome. It was so much fun.
We miss Newstead for sure. We miss him.
Much respect to Trujillo, but Newstead was the man.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, he had great stage presence. That was the thing I really liked about
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, just barking into the microphone, and like he gets so into it, and he's like sweating, like dripping sweat. Everything he gives it all on the stage, right? Like
for sure. And they'd let him sing a Whiplash on stage, and oh my God, that was like a moment for me, like as like 14-year-old me singing that on stage or in the crowd, you know, watching Newstead sing that as part of the Kill 'Em All medley that they did that show was absolutely unreal. But yeah, it was so much fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw them twice as well. Once in 2009, which is kind of a mixed bag of memories, because that was the concert that the girl went missing, if you recall that being a big thing of a Metallica concert, Morgan Harrington, and I was at that concert. So the show was awesome, but the memories of like my mental association with that concert is not as great because of all the tragedy surrounding it. But it was when the tickets went on sale, it was during like the economic downturn. So Metallica made all the tickets pretty cheap. So you could get online real fast and order like right up against the rail for like $100. So I did, and I didn't really have like $100. Still a lot of money in 2009 for me. I'm like barely a grad student, but I saw the value. So I got online at like 10 o'clock, 03 seconds, and hit refresh until it let me in. Got 4 tickets. My future wife actually was accompanied me on that. And it was great. We were right up against the handrail, and they were taking turns at the mic in front of us and throwing picks at us, and it was great. It was awesome.
It's amazing.
And then I went to the on the Hardwired tour, and I saw them in a place where the acoustics kind of sucked. I couldn't hear James at all. It was just blaring loud, you know, Metallica music, and I could kind of hear like like in the background. I'm like, is he sick today, or is it just not plugged in? Like, it just wasn't as good of an experience as the first one. But hey, when you see Metallica, you can only complain so much, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like, you know, I actually remember that on the Hardwired tour, I remember it was ridiculously loud. I think I was in the Rogers Center in Toronto, and like, yeah, and like, or no, was like the Air Canada Center, one of the big arenas there, and it was like, still just like the guitars and like Lars's drums are just so loud that like you can't really even tell if he's singing. Like, you can hear like the reverb of him yelling, but you can't really hear the actual like direct line of him singing.
My older sister, who's 10 years older than me, she saw the Metallica Guns N' Roses tour at the Metrodome, which was just a disaster because it was just, you know, it was one band on one end of the dome and then the other band at the other end, and it was just, it sounded, I remember her describing it, was like, I couldn't hear what anybody was saying. It's like, God damn. It's like, that sounds awesome, but awful also. But yeah.
Well, I think those riots, right? In I think that was up here in Montreal when James caught fire, and then
James caught fire. They had to cut the show short, and then Axl threw a fit because he couldn't hear himself on the monitors, and then everybody went insane. And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Good, it's a good story. It's history.
That was that tour. Yeah, my sister is. Yeah, she's seen a lot of crap like that. But so what are I'm okay? Let's cut to the chase here. How the heck do you get that guitar sound? And it's really the guitar sound. Because you're not singing, obviously, but for the you're capturing that sound for each album, but you're able to get it for drums, bass, and all the production all across the board. How are you able to do that? Is it just like pedals, like bar stuff, or I forget those things are called?
Yeah. If you it depends. It's open to debate amongst my fans. Some guys will come in, or rather haters. A lot of them will come in and be like, "It's just a computer doing everything and all that." And I'll admit I do it all on the computer. Obviously, it's the only way you can do this kind of crap. But
yeah,
and then there's the plug-in bias effects, which just matches the tone for you and all that. And
okay. Yeah.
I'll admit that at first I did do that sort of stuff because I didn't know what I was doing. Along the way, I figured out, different plugins I can use and all that. And basically it's just, an amp sound and then a lot of EQ on everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do you have to just scoop the mids like crazy on the Justice stuff and then...
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like mids, low mids.
On puppets.
Yeah. Puppets, you get a little more crispy, hot. Well, it depends. There's just a nasty scoop out of the Injustice for All stuff.
I don't understand why they did that. I get that they're mourning because Cliff died, and it's tough. But Jesus, that sound is so bizarre to me. When you look at it from a place way after the fact, and just listen to it as just an album, as just. After you listen to I'm gonna listen to some David Bowie, I'm gonna listen to some Brian Ferry or something like that. Here's Metallica and Justice for All, and then you listen to it and you hear the guitars and you hear how dry the drums sound, and they're clicking practically.
Yeah,
it's how the heck, how did they even get the sound, first of all? And why did they think this was a good idea?
Yeah, right.
It's it's crazy sounding. I've never heard anything else come close to sounding like that.
No, it's super unique, and not even just to Metallica, to anything. Yeah. It's so unique.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It reminds me. It makes me think of. I'm trying to think of anything else that's not. It's the metal scene nowadays sounds like something that's just. I'm trying to think of some bands like Mastodon and all that kind of stuff. Lamb of God. None of those bands are we need that Justice sound. No, that's completely unique to Metallica.
Yeah, and some of them get harder to do. When you actually get to where they're using real tones and stuff like that. Black Album. It's kind of an easy tone to get because it's there's a lot of information out there about the Black Album. But when you get to load, reload, then you start messing around with different kinds of amps and things. The Justice tone tends to be actually pretty easy to capture because again, there's a good amount of notes about that stuff too. But you just cut out a lot of the middle and like you said, right, and then you're pretty good. You could probably take any regular, really distorted guitar tone and just cut the mids right out of it, and you get a pretty close tone to the Justice tone anyways.
Be honest, you're just using a Boss Metal Zone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Guitar talk, folks. We're just talking guitar. Yeah. How the heck are you able to get James's downstrokes that?
I've been playing for 20 years. I've been playing since I was 8, right? So
yeah.
Lot of practice and a lot of playing Metallica, obviously. So the downstrokes come pretty easy to me at this point, but you know, sometimes it feels like you're getting like carpal tunnel or something because it's just so fast, right?
He's an animal. Like, you know, you watch him live, and you know, even on like Binge and Purge and stuff like that, it's like this is how you're supposed to play. Like, oh, this is the. You know, this is kind of a blueprint of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And
you
like,
know, like
even that, you mentioning that, it's like, that's also a part of getting some of like the sound of the guitar too, right? Is being able to like replicate as best as possible the down picking that he does. Cause it's always like, all of his down picks are like even, but they're all like, really, really hard and even instead of all over the place, right? But it's like bam, 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 bam. Where like most people are kind of like bam, bam, bam. You know, it's like not as like dynamic, I guess. Yeah. But so like like that, it does play a part in it because like it does make the amp sort of sound a certain way too when you really, really strike the string like that.
Yeah. Do you have a preferable set of strings that you use for this kind of stuff, like Ernie Ball or something like that?
You know what? Lately, just because the Ernie Ball come in like a 5-pack, I've been using those lately, like just the regular Slinkies. So it's like the 10 to 46 gauges, and but usually I'm using the GHS Boomers, which are like really, really good for metal stuff, and they stay in tune. They're like, I love them, and they're cheap. They're really, really cheap. Yeah, so that's great. Yeah. I love that.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's all really fascinating. I have to ask, like, at what point did you kind of discover? Well, I guess maybe we'll take it back to the beginning of the YouTube channel. Like when you set that up, and I know your first video was a rework that you did. Did you have plans for doing more right there? Or was it just like, hey, I made this cool thing. I was bored one day. I've listened to Metallica my whole life. And one day I was like, I'm going to make my own Metallica. And so you did, and you uploaded it, and it got really popular. And it was then you were like, I'm going to do more. Or did you kind of always have plans to do this?
Yeah, no, your first part there was exactly right. I just posted one. I downloaded like a drum plugin, and it came with a Black Album-esque drum kit on it. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So I was messing around with it. I'm like, I wonder if I can make, Master Puppets on Black Album. Let's give that a try. And then I made it, and then I had like a really bad computer and like no space to save anything. So I was like, well, I'm just going to post it online then, and I'll leave it there. And if I want to listen to it, I'll go listen to it back off of YouTube, I guess. And then like, okay, so this part's like a little weird, but like I'm not superstitious really. But so my dad passed away about a year after posting that, and I hadn't got any views on it. Like I got like 100 views, maybe 200 or something like that. So my dad, the giant Metallica fan, passes away, and literally like 2 weeks after that, my channel just blew up.
Wow.
I got like 100,000 views on that video. Wow. And then I was like, well, I guess people like this. And then I discovered the other channels that were already doing it. Like there's Guitar Raz and Krebel Star, I think the guy's name is. Krebel Star. And so I was like, oh, there is kind of a niche going on here. I didn't realize there was this like underground fake Metallica thing going on. So I guess some people really, really, really like that sort of stuff. So yeah, I started doing that. I think I posted like Wherever I May Roam on Injustice for All, which I really, really need to redo because it's kind of amateur sounding at this point. But that's exactly it. It was just like post a random one, got kind of popular. Might as well keep posting more, I guess, see what I can do.
Hey, that's cool. And yeah, it is a coincidental and odd timing that it just took off like that. But we're glad that it did, because, without that, we probably don't end up finding it and talking to you. So it's all really incredible stuff. I really want to shout out the one that you put out earlier this week. The X Gonna Give It To You DMX mashup you did recently with Sad But True. That shit has been on repeat for me for the last few days. I mean, RIP DMX, but holy shit, that mashup, it just seems so natural for that song and those two songs to match up. You did a hell of a job with that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, even my friend doesn't like metal or Metallica or anything. Even he messaged me and he was like, man, this thing slaps.
Nice.
I'm like, I don't know what that means exactly, but I think that means it's good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think when I sent it to every friend that I had that I knew would appreciate it, I got responses that said something along the lines of either a fire emoji or this slaps, which I assumed that all that's good.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate sharing it and all that. That one was fun, and honestly, I made it like the morning he died, obviously. So I was like, I saw that and I was like, I've got an idea. Let's see what song I can find that I can just fit that song over, because that's such a jam, right?
Yeah, and that actually leads me to my next question, is because I thought, maybe your reworks and the mashups are different. I'm too ignorant to know, but it seemed like that one in particular came together pretty quick. But I also imagine this whole process is tedious. Like you're matching up beats and sounds and keys and trying to get it to all work together. Was that one just kind of naturally easy? Are some of these really difficult to assemble?
Yeah. It varies, and it not just on like the song or anything or the album. Sometimes it's just like, mindset and all that sort of stuff. But the DMX one came together like, yeah, really fast, obviously. Like, it was up the next day, right? So that was really, really fast. But that was just like layering the instrumental for Sad But True with the vocal on top. So my only real job there was cutting up the vocal to fit.
Right.
So that came together real nice. But yeah, there are some projects that like I can't even get it to begin working. So I'm like, I'll do this later. Like the Dyer's Eve on Ride the Lightning that I just did. That one, like I said I was going to do that last year, like early last year. And then I was like, I don't know how to make this work. So I waited a year to restart. And then the other, like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, man, I have a really good idea for that. Okay, bam, posted. So,
yeah.
But then there are other ones where I really do work like a whole week. And then there are some that only take like 2 days. It depends on how inspired I am. Like sometimes you sit down and you want to get it done. But I don't know if it's like an expectations thing. Like if I think people like, it's probably something with me where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to sound good. People are going to like it. And then like at the end of the day, I'm just like, you know what? It's not all about likes. It's not all about views. It's just about making something good. Right. So
yeah, no, it's definitely a mental thing, I think. Like you go like spanning tons of eras too, like Creeping Death on Death Magnetic, King Nothing on King Nothing on Saint Anger is not that bad, but like just one, some of the stuff you span out to is insane. Like, and it's not just like plug this in and play this. It's like it's way more than that, because you're doing a lot more than that. You actually rearrange some of these songs. You add a lot to them. Like your Creeping Death on Death Magnetic. I'm just gonna go with that since that's the last one I will listen to.
Yeah.
That one was something where you're like adding parts, you're taking away parts, you're making new arrangements basically. So
oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy to me. Like some people might not. I can understand why people would not like that though, because it's like, oh, it's a Metallica song, you can't do that.
Yeah, and their fans are touchy. They're very very touchy.
You can't, yeah,
and I'm one
delicate.
of them. I'm touchy too sometimes. I'm like, why would you do that to me? But it's like, but that even like that sort of thing like almost comes from. Like, no offense to any of the other guys who have done any of this stuff, but like a lot of them don't do the rewrite thing and like add stuff. They just do like straight up different album tone with the same exact song, where I'm like, man, I would like to see like just pure chaos all over the place. Just, thrash put in where thrash shouldn't be, and like, and like really trying to like put myself in their shoes if they were actually putting that song on that album,
It's something that is really kind of understated and underappreciated on your channel that I really like. I really like the stuff that you throw in there. Another band I really like is Typo Negative, and
right. I'm
like on their subreddit, and I'm sub to like some of their channels and that kind of stuff, and nobody does anything with their sound, and I'm like, come on, their sound is so distinct, like do something weird, do something crazy.
Yeah, and I think there was like something that there was a video on YouTube, I think, right? It was like a Metallica typo negative. I can't remember the guy's name.
Metallica typo negative. What?
Yeah, it was something like that, and like I don't think the guy had very many views before that, but then he did something like that, and I'm pretty sure his channel blew up. I wish I remembered his channel's name. I feel really bad about that.
Dennis Pauna? I just looked up I just typed in Metallica typo negative and got some stuff.
Yeah, that's the guy. I'm pretty sure that video got a pretty good amount of views anyways, and like it was really, really good. And a couple guys in my server really, really enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a couple typo negative cover bands that do their style in other band, other songs. Like there's, I think it's called, what the hell are they called? Hang on, let me look it up real quick. It's Stereotypo Negative is what they're called. And they did a U2 cover of In the Name of Love. And it's freaking awesome. Like,
awesome.
You guys need to keep doing this, but I guess they all have like lives and stuff and
careers. Damn lives getting in the
way. Lousy. But yeah, it's that kind of thing is vastly underappreciated, I think. Just going in, getting your hands dirty, basically, and risking the criticism of just making something of your own on top of something that is already written.
Yeah.
Like your Dyer's Eve on Ride the Lightning is a perfect example of that. It's freaking awesome. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? It's just about having fun. Like, yeah, some people are really, really serious about it, and I'm like, hey, I just do this for fun. Don't forget that. Like, I'm not like here trying to be Metallica. I'm not like, oh man, my music is better than Metallica, because I get a lot of that, like those kinds of comments. They'll be like, why do you think you're Metallica? I'm like, I don't. I think I'm having fun. Like, what? Like, that's not anything. Like, but some people do just prefer the. I do get comments that are like, I'd rather just hear the album, the exact same song with a different tone. But I'm like, I just don't do that. There are other channels doing that. You can go check them out. That's fine. I'll promote those channels. I don't even care. But that's not what I do here. I like it to be ridiculous.
Yes, I appreciate all of that. And I wanted to circle back to Typo Negative real quick, because I wanted to point out that Typo Negative had some great covers of their own, which is fantastic.
Cinnamon Girl.
So it's one of my favorite ones. It's so
that one's, I love Peter Steele's voice alone is just beautiful.
Yeah. And just to throw some appreciation toward this Dennis Pauna guy, he's got an Alice in Chains he calls them in negative. So he has Alice in negative and a Come As You Are in negative, Master of O negative. So he's having fun out there, man.
Yeah, he's got a bunch. I forgot that he does like the variety too. So that kind of makes me jealous that he does that.
Hey man, you can always be inspired. But I was going to use that as a segue to ask, obviously you're a huge Metallica fan. I'm sure you get asked this a ton, but have you considered doing some other bands and some other albums? I know Metallica is unique because each of their albums are very distinct sound-wise, and that makes it kind of fun and easy. But, I mean, have you considered branching out?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea at this point, because the niching down thing was good, but it seems to be dwindling a little bit in popularity now. It's like they're getting a little used to what's going on.
Sure.
So, yeah, I've experimented with some, like I did like the hip-hop, like That Was Just Your Life, and the Green Day Metallica thing, which I really wanted to do the full song. I probably should have just ended up doing the whole song. But yeah, so I probably, like, I was going to this year. I was like, that's it. I'm going to start branching out. And then posted a couple videos. They didn't get that as much exposure as I would have enjoyed. So I was like, oh, God. And then, the next one I posted was like, Nothing Else Matters on Master of Puppets, and then it got like 100,000 views. I'm like, okay, I guess they just want Metallica.
It's easy to be swayed by the views. I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I try not to be, man. Like, I really so lately I'm just gonna make what I really, really enjoy. But branching out is something I do want to do probably pretty soon.
Cool.
You get the comment all the time. Mama said. Will you ever do it? I don't blame you if you say no, or if you say like maybe, I don't know, etc.
It's such a meme at this point. I almost
is.
have to do it. Like, right? Like it's like
Mama said on Kill 'Em All.
On Kill 'Em All, but also I keep thinking about it. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin on that because somebody did it. I think it was somebody on my Discord server did it and posted it on YouTube, and I was like, that's way better than I could have ever imagined doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure I could probably pull it off, but but it would take some thinking. I probably have to like actually like start taking notes and things like that because that's a leap, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, but to say the least, yeah, it's like taking a freaking Merle Haggard song and bringing it to, you know, thrash early '80s like Slayer, Metallica thrash type stuff.
There you go. Give them ideas, Alex. Very good. Yeah.
How do I do that? Yeah. It's crazy. Man, so what is your favorite though? Like what's your I have to ask, what's your favorite sound to do? Is it Justice? Is it puppets? Like what's your go-to?
That's a good question. You know, I would have said Justice before, but now the ones that are a little more challenging are starting to kind of like the Saint Anger ones are fun. I know it's terrible to listen to, but those are fun. It's almost more of a challenge to me to make everything sound really bad, but also really accurate. So like that kind of stuff. I'm working on the Death Magnetic stuff, but the Master of Puppets, I really kind of got that down like last December. Like November, December, so I really, really like getting that tone and that sound because you know you just 0 0 0 0 0 on the E string the entire time, you know,
like freaking Disposable Heroes is
exactly right, and then you know so that gets to be a lot of fun. I'd probably say Master of Puppets at this point.
Oh man, I love that freaking album. It's such a pleasure to listen to. You do. I was hoping you'd say that because then I can rave about your rhythm playing on all the puppet stuff you do, especially one on Master of Puppets. That is freaking awesome. That is like way better than I would have thought because it is like. I mean, is there like if you had to rename one, it would be 0.
Yeah.
You know. That's a tablature joke.
That was good.
Trav.
That was good.
Guitar
I'll take it.
Joke.
Yeah.
Lame as hell. But anyway.
Yeah, that's got to be my favorite.
Justice, that any of those songs in the puppet style is just fantastic. And you know, it I almost start thinking philosophical at that point. I'm like, what if Cliff hadn't passed away in the bus accident? If he were on Justice, like, is this what this song would have sounded like? Like, I start thinking that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you start like making like all these different cross albums in your head, and you're like, but if he was there for the Black album, then it wouldn't have sounded like this. It might have sounded more thrash, or there might have been
Bob
more
Rock
like,
wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. None of that stuff. But then we wouldn't have got Blackened because you know Jason Newsted wrote the riff for Blackened, right? You know,
exactly.
So it's like, you know, you give and take, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard, but yeah, you nailed it. Blackened's probably my favorite Metallica song ever. Me too.
And when I saw them live in 2000, they came out of their intermission, you know, with Blackened, and it was unbelievable. It was freaking like out of the box, like freaking awesome as shit. And I felt like okay, I can leave now because that was the best freaking thing ever.
Well, yeah, when I saw them in Montreal, it was just, they opened the concert like with Blackened, and I remember like I swear to God, a chick just punched me straight in the stomach. Wow! And then the mosh pit opened, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is amazing! Yeah, this is great. I can't even breathe. This chick just beat me up."
That's awesome. Oh man. I haven't got my ass kicked at a concert in so long.
That song does things to you, man. It's that good.
No, that makes me nostalgic for getting the crap kicked out of me at concerts when I was younger. When I was brave enough to go to the front of the stage.
Yeah.
My first floor concert was... see, now I'm just rambling now. This is why we had you on, just to talk about bullshit. But
Yeah. No, I love bullshit. Don't worry, man. I love talking this kind of stuff.
I went in 98 was my first floor concert to Slayer. And
Nice.
it was on oh god, what was that album called? I can't remember. But it was their slow album. It was basically the Slayer version of Load.
Yeah.
You know, where they just kind of basically backed off a little bit. But they came out live and they played all their classic shit. And it was amazing. And everybody beat the crap out of each other. And when we got off the floor, I was 16 at the time. We got off the floor and it was like a battlefield. It was like bodies laying around. It was like glass, like shattered glass. There were beer bottles. There were like people, you know, just stuff everywhere. And I was like, man, this is a real Slayer concert, I guess. Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah. That's
is
the
cool.
full experience.
I survived.
Man.
I survived a Slayer concert. This is awesome.
Love it.
That was my introduction to metal. Basically, was at that point. So, what do you have do you have any kind of like floor stories or anything like that?
Yeah, honestly, when I was younger, like I wasn't rich or anything, but I was always like, I promised myself I'm gonna go like front row to every concert I go to. So I'm always up against the gate. The Hardwired tour, I got a concussion because some guy, he pushed me from behind and I smashed heads with this other guy. I couldn't even see straight or anything. It was brutal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So halfway through the concert, I don't even remember like the last half of the concert. It was pretty bad. But I've seen a couple Walls of Death, at like Lamb of God. You know, everyone links arms and just runs at each other like madmen.
Yes.
Yeah. That kind of. I've seen that at Lamb of God twice now. You know, like because they'll always play at like a 4:00 slot on like in like a festival or something like that. But it's like midday. Everyone's like kind of like too wasted because they've been drunk since 8 a.m.
Yeah, but they're still like super energetic.
Yeah. Some
like
of them are on
the
meth
sweet
or something, you know, and like, you know, it's just, you know, girls flying all over the place. Like I remember System of a Down was at that festival I went to, and it was like one of their very first shows back, and definitely their first show back in Canada. And I've never seen an ocean of people like this. Like there was 130,000 people at the concert.
Oh my
and
God.
all of them must have been there to see System, because I was literally pulling girls like they were on the ground getting trampled by people because everyone just wanted to rush the stage. I was like pulling girls up from the ground, throwing them on top of people and saying surf to the front, because if you're not getting out, you know what I mean, like you surf to the front and just keep surfing. I'm like, because they're gonna die. Like there's like they can't breathe under there, they're getting trampled.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone's gonna get killed, right? You gotta be respectful, you know.
Tom Araya was really super cool about that. What he would stop the show and be like, hey, you guys got to help each other out. If somebody goes down, pick each other up and throw them to the front. And you know, we gotta.
It gets claustrophobic, man. Like that's like the biggest, the worst part to me, anyways. Is the claustrophobia.
There's a certain sense of community that comes out of that, though, which is really cool. Which is, in my experience, is unique to metal. Just helping each other out. Like if somebody goes down, just pick them up, bring them to the front, and they'll do that. So I really appreciated hearing that from Mr. Tom Araya of Slayer.
Yeah, because, you know, everyone thinks the metal guys are all just like, you know, hard, like, you know, angry guys that drink whiskey and beat their wives or something, you know.
Yeah, right. What do you got, Trav?
You know, I'm always the guy that's in the back. I got my arms folded. I might do a little knee bend that coincides with my head nod. I look very cool back there, but I'm not touching a whole lot of people. I'm not getting up there amidst all the crazy sauce. I'm hanging out in the back.
I remember going to see 9 Inch Nails in 2000. I was 18. And this is since I was 18, I was like Mr. fucking dipshit douche asshole. You know, I was wearing like freaking what are those boots called? I can't even remember the name of them. Martens, Doc Martens.
No, Doc Martens. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wearing Doc Martens, and I got picked up for the first time in my life. I got picked up and thrown onto the crowd to crowd surf, and I accidentally kicked this dude in the head. Like right square in the fucking forehead. And I felt so bad, but I'm crowd surfing and I can't be like Larry David and be like, I'm sorry. Like I can't do that. And so this dude was so pissed at me. He saw that I kicked him, and I'm like, I couldn't, I'm sorry. And he just like shoved my legs to the side, and I fell to the ground. And yeah, that was the end of my...
Standing at the back, though, Trav, man, that's the way to do it, because I always envy those people, because like I'm a psycho, I guess. I'm like, I gotta go in there and just get punched in the face. I don't know. Those guys are enjoying it. They're not covered in mud. They're not covered in like blood and spit and sweat from other people. Dude, just enjoying the show.
That's
and
right.
the sound always is better way back there too, right?
It is, yeah. It really is. I thought those days were behind me, but when I went to see Carcass on their reunion tour, and this would have been 2015, I think, or 2016, for their that album that came out. I think it's Surgical Steel. I went to go see them. Oh my god, I could not. I was like, I'm going to the fucking front. I don't care. And I got the crap kicked out of me. It was, I was only up there for like 10 minutes or so, and I was gone.
Tapped out.
I was like, yep, I'm old. That's it. I'm done. But yeah, there's a certain itch that scratches when you grew up with that stuff. I blame my dad and my brother for that kind of stuff. My older brother was the one that was like super into Justice, for one thing, and my dad was into like Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, The Who, and all that sort of stuff.
Other than my dad, not really. Like he got me into like music in general, and like guitar. Like he really just like they always like, I think I got like an electric guitar for like my 8th birthday, and like I always listened to metal with him and stuff like that. So definitely him, because he got me onto like Ozzy, Metallica, and then some of the lighter stuff too, like Van Halen, Def Leppard, all that stuff. So he really got me going into it. And then a lot of my friends didn't really like metal, like, because I'm not even the biggest metalhead either. I don't listen to like exclusively, like a lot of my favorite bands are like like Green Day and Foo Fighters and stuff like that. Like some soft stuff. Some people might make fun of me, but it's what I grew up on. And then my brother got me into like dirty punk, like Operation Ivy and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got into more like the not as intricate music, I guess. But then like after high school, just angry teenager me was back into metal all of a sudden. There's some good Canadian metal bands out, like Protest the Hero, Voivod, like, so yeah, right around high school. But I had no friends that were into it really. Like this one girl I knew was into it, but that's pretty much it. It was basically just lone wolfing it, listening to metal like a weirdo, I guess.
It's all good, man. That just means you're too cool for everyone else. That's how you need to phrase it. You're way too cool for those people.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they're losers and I am not. So
right on, man. I think that's going to be pretty close to wrapping us up. I wanted to ask you, I don't know what you're willing to share with us, but you got any projects that you're cooking on that we might see pretty soon on the old channel?
I'm hoping that I teased it a couple months ago, and I've been taking shit for it ever since, and that's the Don't Tread on Me on Injustice for All.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing about that. Yeah,
that I'm trying to get going, and then I'm actually working on, hopefully it might not end up coming to fruition, but I'm trying to work out a I Disappear on Hardwired.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take it to ridiculous levels, so
yeah, all you had to say was I Disappear.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I always forget about that when it's hidden on a completely different soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's the one, the video where they're just all out in the desert for no reason looking at a helicopter, right? Pretty fun.
Yeah. Like, why is Metallica just playing in Utah?
Yeah. Yeah, why Utah? Why exactly? Yeah. Good times. Was that Mission Impossible?
That's hilarious.
Was that what that
was? Yeah, Mission Impossible 2, yeah.
Yeah, good times, man. All right. Hey, I'm looking forward to that.
Mission Impossible. What movie was that? That was Mission Impossible? Yeah. Signs that soundtrack didn't exactly click with folks if they're asking what movie it was from.
Well, I mean, what is the correlation between Metallica, even like mid-90s Metallica, and like spy movies? I don't understand that one.
Spy movie.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny to think about. They probably came to them and they're like, "Hey guys, we need to you've seen that spy movie with Tom Cruise, right?" And they were like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, so it's about a spy." and you don't, you know what spies are, right? And they're like, not so much. They're like, okay, so it's a guy that you don't really see too much. They're like, does he disappear? They're like, you got it.
You mean like ninjas?
Yeah, he kind of disappears. He's a spy, and they're like, I think we could work with that. Yeah,
They're like the record label.
Yeah. Do you do a Hetfield at all? Do you do Ooh, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah,
everyone's got to have one, right?
Everybody has one. Jim Brewer is the one that like inspires everybody, I think.
Yeah, from the Icons thing and like his stand-up and all that. Yeah.
And then James looks at the camera like, "Is that really what I sound like?" It's like,
you
do.
Like that.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you sound like. All right, James, shut up.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was singing Black Album Metallica on the way to the grocery store today, and I was singing Nothing Else Matters really loud in the car, and I did the whole, like, never cared for what they say, yeah, never cared for what they do.
Like the solo, like, and I know,
yeah, at the end. It was just like full on like Hetfield. It feels good to do that though. I get
like
why
the most
he does
fun.
that.
It's
the
fun.
most fun.
Yeah.
It's
No one
so
else
much
just
fun to
does
do
that for no reason. Like you had like Michael Jackson making funny noises in the 80s and shit, right?
Shamo!
But like, it's Shamona. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just pure like I'm riding motorcycles, white knuckling it, fun,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's become
Super
Alex
cool.
and I's greeting when we get online here.
Yeah.
Like anytime we're having a Discord thing for a guest to come on or something like that, the first words that I hear usually, which startle me, is that right there.
then you just come in and you're like, "Are you alive? How does it feel to be alive?
How does it feel to be alive? Show me."
I love it.
Awesome.
Oh, I have to ask you, as a Metallica fan, what is I have not heard as a lifelong Metallica fan myself. I can't even call myself that anymore because I still haven't heard S&M 2 yet. Have you listened to that? And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not for me. It's
Not for you. Okay.
not.
All right.
Like I liked S&M like the original because I was like a kid when that came out, and then now I go back and listen to it. I'm like, okay, it is a little heavy on the auto tune, a little weird. He kind of sounds like Cher, but the new one was almost as bad. But like it was very poorly mixed. Like. It just didn't sound good, and like I don't know, like the samples on Lars's drums these days or something, they sound so strange. Okay. I don't know, it just sounds robotic, and then like the track listing wasn't amazing. It wasn't a whole lot of variety from the first one, other than a few like newer songs and whatever.
That's what blows my mind. I looked at the track list, and I'm like, what are you doing these same Black Album songs again? Do something different.
Yeah, there are plenty of songs that they could have done that like need a symphony.
Orion,
what are you doing?
Orion,
what are you doing? Like that one especially. Like the breakdown in the middle. You know what I mean? Like that's screaming for a symphony because it literally just sounds like a classical song. Like
it does. It really does. It's my favorite Metallica song. Orion. If I had to pick one, it's my favorite. But yeah, at least they did Call of Cthulhu rather.
Yeah. We'll take that. But they did that on the first one too, right? I believe
they did. No, I mean they did cover that one. With the symphony orchestra. Oh God, I just hate that they redid like let's do these songs again. I get that it's a concert and you need to please the live audience with the hits and all that sort of stuff. But come on,
like you're never gonna get out of a concert without playing Enter Sandman. Obviously,
we
know that. You know what I mean? Like we know you have to play Nothing Else Matters because it has like how many like 900 million views on YouTube now. Like,
I can't get out of a karaoke bar without singing Nothing Else Matters.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you have to do it.
Mine's always like a Guns N' Roses "Sweet Child of Mine." I'm just wasted at a karaoke bar, and I'm like, wow, like
that's a tough one. That's a tough one to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever dare to do like "Don't Cry," like the note at the end?
Oh my God.
Can't do it. That's why I stick with the B-52s. Love Shack, baby. Nailed it every time. No one's gotten a few standing ovations from drunk old truckers. It's a good time. All right, everyone. That's been another Drunk Friend podcast. As always, you can reach out to us with questions or comments at drunkfriendpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. We'll read it here eventually. Please head over to polymedianetwork.com if you want to hear more podcasts. We got Tales of the Lesser Medium, Petey's Power Hour, Polykill, Indie Quest, and more.
Is there more?
I don't think so. I think that's it. I don't know why I even say and more.
Oh, I don't know. If you're not interested in sending an email, it's no big deal. Just give us a rating and review on a podcast app of your choice, and that'll help us out big time.
You can find us all on social media. You know, on Twitter, I'm at Trav Plays Games. Alex, of course, that's drunk. You know that one. And you can find State of Mercury at Mercury_State, as if it were a college.
As always, the music you heard at the beginning and can hear right now was composed by our friend Coolor.
Yeah.
You can hear the track you can hear right now is called Electric Star Bounce, and you can find a link to more of his music on his Bus Rock Podcast page. And shout out to Josh Leslie for his thirst quenching logo.
You do need water. Good advice, Brennan. Be sure to catch us all on YouTube, and thanks for listening.
And have a great rest of your day.
Phrased as a question. Very good.
I went full Simpsons with that. Here's your taco, sir. Whoops, I dropped it.